Hello and welcome to the Diamond Report for Friday, April 28th, 2017. This is your host, Doug Diamond. We're looking at Earthquake 3D, the last 48 hours worth of earthquakes globally. It is currently 10:47 p.m. I like to try and say what time it is just so people know that when they see it the next day that I've waited till the very end of the previous day to report the news. I did not do an earthquake update yesterday, primarily because we didn't see much difference between what happened the day before yesterday and then yesterday. So today, of course, we have lots of new movement. As you can see in the center of your screen, we have a near 7.0 earthquake that is in the Philippines, Burias, Philippines. As you can see, it's not on land, it's out to sea. USGS is reporting it as a magnitude 6.8. We can just call it a 7.0. It's basically what it is. There's multiple agencies reporting 6.9, 7.1, 7.2, all in that same quake. So it varies a little, but USGS tends to downplay things, so they're calling it a magnitude 6.8. So that's fine. Just know it's a decent-sized quake. It's the biggest one we've seen in a few days. A few days back now, we saw a magnitude 7.0 also in South America, and then today we've had another aftershock in that same spot, exact same place. There was basically another magnitude 6. It was like a 5.9. Again, USGS downplays it slightly. Valparaiso, Chile, just like the magnitude 7 was the other day. This one's a 6. So that's really more of an aftershock because it's in the exact same place. And as you can see, there is also another deep quake here, a 4.3, and that follows another deep quake from a few days ago. Well, actually, what day was that? This one right here, that's a magnitude 5.0. You can see how high off the screen that one sticks. That's going to cause further movement that is both shallower and larger. So that magnitude 5 could result in a brand new 6 to 7. Now we did just see a 6 here. That could be the movement that we're expecting based off of this deep 5. The only reason I think it might not be is that the place where this new magnitude 5.9 just happened was in the same place that the 7.0 happened the other day. So that's why I think it's probably more of an aftershock. And we may still see another large 6 or 7 to the south, probably somewhere here in Chile in the next few days. So we're still watching for that. As you can see, there's a pretty big swarm of quakes that have happened, 3s, 4s, and 5s in that same exact place. So that area around Valparaiso or Santiago continues to move. So that's one place that we're watching closely. And this, going back to this magnitude 7 here in the Philippines, I mentioned that we would probably be seeing a magnitude 7 several days back, and that is based off of these deep quakes that we saw here near Fiji, which were 5.0s. And I said, well, we'll probably see either a 6 or a 7. And then as soon as I said that, we saw the 7.0 hit South America. So we saw this movement in Fiji, the deep quake, several deep quakes, and I said, okay, we'll probably see a 6 or a 7. And I said we will probably see it out here in the Pacific, in the Western Pacific, and we did now see that. But I thought the one here in South America the other day was the one that we were expecting, but actually, and that may have had something to do with it as well, these deep quakes that were out here at Fiji. However, we did finally see the West Pacific move on a larger scale, this one at the Philippines today. So, all that to say, my forecast from the other day was correct in that we did see a 7.0. It just took a little longer than I thought it would out here in the West Pacific. We still have yet to see larger movement out here. I still think that one's probably only going to be about a 5. Not a real big deal on that one, but we did finally get our 7.0 there. And that's really all I had on the earthquake update. We have multiple swarms around the planet going on as well, so we have seen an increase in activity. You can see New Zealand has quite a few 2s and 3s going on there. Central America seems to be swarming, but it continues to, as does Italy. Italy has a number of 2s, 3s, and 4s. And not only that, but we continue to see Turkey swarming. And usually it's just the western area of Turkey where this big bunch of 2s and 3s are right here. But now we're also seeing the central part of Turkey swarming, and maybe even the eastern part or the northwestern corner of Iran. Anyway, we have a number of swarms going on here across Turkey and Italy. So, all that to say, we've seen quite an increase in movement just over the last, really, 24 hours. I didn't even do an earthquake update yesterday because it wasn't really that different. And then today, all of a sudden, everything kind of happened. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that, and let's move on to the headlines. The issues Americans think are worth a government shutdown. That's on Zero Hedge. Asylum seekers fleeing the U.S. for Canada may find a frigid reception in Canadian courts. U.S. GDP collapses to 0.7%, lowest in 3 years. Worst personal spending since 2009. Kim Jong-un's final warning. North Korea warns conflict is inching towards explosion. That's on the Express. Brussels uproar as Juncker declares banking war on Spain, Croatia, Cyprus, and Portugal. That's on the Express as well. It'd be the end of Fox News as we know it. Sean Hannity launches passionate defense of under-fire President Bill Shine amid reports he could be next on the chopping block. WikiLeaks publishes docs and source code of CIA secret document tagging program as part of Vault 7. That's on Sputnik News. NatWest Banking issues sparks panic as customers lose payday wages. Is your money safe? That's on dailystar.com. And an interesting headline here, and I find the timing of this very questionable, that all this is coming out right now with everything going on in the world and Trump and all the questions that his presidency has brought up for everyone, including Alex Jones. Alex's ex-wife wins joint custody of kids and gets to decide who they live with in, quote, major defeat for conspiracy theorist radio host. So they're doing the absolute darndest, the best they can to take Alex down, which is, of course, to be expected from the power structure. But the timing of this is highly suspect, in my opinion. Anyway, it doesn't change what I think about Alex Jones. I still think he's one of the best news sources out there. If you don't like it, if you believe that he is working for the Jews, or that you believe that he's complete propaganda, or whatever it is you believe, I really don't care. Then stop listening to me, because I'm going to keep quoting Alex Jones, who to me is one of the absolute best news sources there is. Infowars.com. China hopes to find new channels to peacefully resolve North Korea crisis. That's on Sputnik News. Russia's clear signal to the U.S. Think twice before using your nukes. Also on Sputnik News, Clinton syndrome. Why France's Le Pen shouldn't be ruled out just yet. Trump gives in to Chinese pressure on Taiwan. And from the Gateway Pundit, media trumped. Americans trust Trump White House over liberal media to tell the truth. 3 strikes means you're out, Speaker Ryan. That's also from the Gateway Pundit. I wish he was out. He certainly needs to be. Don't get cold feet. When the economy tanks, the value of gold may briefly plummet. That's on shtfplan.com. Why does Jared Kushner look like he's getting ready to play the role of the biblical Antichrist? High alert on North Korea. Economy down again in Trump tax plan. That's with Greg Hunter on usawatchdog.com. From Information Liberation, Trump says, I'm a nationalist and a globalist. You can't be both. I'm sorry, you just can't. Trump on being president. This is more work than in my previous life. I thought it would be easier. That's from Zero Hedge. I find it really difficult to believe that he actually said that, but maybe he did. On the home stretch to collapse, from investmentresearchdynamics.com. Washington plans to nuke Russia and China. That's from Paul Craig Roberts. I don't know about that, but maybe. Who knows what the neocons have in store for us. Project Bluebeam Practice? Breakaway Civilization Tech? What are these strange things in the sky? That's from thedailysheeple.com. From Natural News, Amazon wants to watch you get dressed. New Echo Look camera to spy on you in your own bedroom and bathroom. Isn't that handy? From MyDailyInformer.com, geologists warning that Southern California is overdue for a major and possibly catastrophic earthquake. Yeah, it is, but it's not going to happen the way the power structure within the USGS says it's going to happen. There'll be plenty of warnings leading up to it. Trump joins in bashing Obama's $400,000 speech payday that stuns liberal base after Elizabeth Warren said his cash grab troubled her. Hillary Clinton's superdelegate indicted on fraud and conspiracy charges. Well, that goes right along with the Clintons, doesn't it? From Zero Hedge, WikiLeaks reveals the Snowden-Stopper, CIA tool to track whistleblowers. House passes stopgap spending bill averting government shutdown. Senate next. Whew. Boy, I know I feel better, don't you? The government's going to go on just like it was and it won't shut down. No, actually, I wanted it to shut down. Texas bill adds civil criminal penalties for sanctuary cities. That's from Breitbart. French report on alleged Syria chemical attack looks like a political put-up job. That's from Sputnik News. U.S. threatens North Korea with more sanctions, suspension of diplomatic talks. That's on RT. Somehow I doubt that's going to help. Hannity, Ingram propose massive free speech tour of liberal college campuses with Coulter, Limbaugh, and Levin. Defenseless, U.S. generals admit they can't stop North Korea obliterating Seoul. That's from the Express. Are Navy SEALs in North Korea? Submarine used by crack soldiers moves in on Kim Jong-un. Chicago airport security chief fired after United Airlines debacle. That's on Zero Hedge. The CIA has been deeply humiliated. Watch Ron Paul interview Julian Assange. Trump signs new executive order to get rid of bad VA employees and protect whistleblowers. That's on Freedom Outpost. Shouldn't it protect Julian Assange then? He's not really a whistleblower, but he's in that same vein of whistleblowers. Government shutdown averted for 7 days. Senate passes stopgap spending bill. Again, wow, wasn't that close? No, I really wish they would just go ahead and shut it down. That's fine. Coca-Cola will cut 1,200 jobs in order to save money as global demand for soda decreases. WTH. What the heck? Sports channel ESPN posts poem praising notorious cop killer on its website. That's on the Gateway Pundit. North Korea warns it's on the brink of nuclear war with the U.S. and compares America to a blackmailing gangster. Marine Le Pen closes the gap with Emmanuel Macron in latest French election poll after he is accused of taking victory for granted. Watch, Muslim students claim that non-believers will be killed in Islamic countries. Yep, that's what happens. I mean, if you're truly following the teachings of Muhammad, that's what's supposed to happen. Future of beach warfare. U.S. Marines test hypersub machine gun toting robots and more. That's on RT. Pyongyang reaches final stage of nuclear weaponization, South Korean FM says. That's on Sputnik News. Denuclearization is key. U.S. will not reward North Korea's bad behavior with talks. That's on Sputnik News as well. What about our bad behavior? Video. Students compare Trump's policies to Nazis, except they're really Obama's policies. But you're not supposed to notice that. The global elite are headed for a fall, and they don't even know it. I think they do know it, and I think they know we're all headed for a fall, but they are going to be prepared when most of the rest of us will not be. North Korean despot Kim Jong-un's nuclear tests could trigger massive volcanic eruption. That's on the Express. I keep hearing that. I suppose it could, but chances are it would not. It probably would do nothing more than shake things up. It might create some earthquakes, but I don't think it's going to make a volcano erupt. Time to retake control. Trump administration calls for intervention in North Korea. That's on the Daily Star. Trump's first 100 days. Establishment goes to war to halt president's agenda. That's on Breitbart. Yeah, and it seems to me like the establishment, the deep state, has won, so far at least. And as I mentioned on the earthquake update, breaking 7.2 magnitude earthquake rocks the Philippines, sparking tsunami fears. That's on the Express. Yeah, 7.2 is not really big enough to generate a very large tsunami wave. It takes an 8 or a 9 to really make a wave that will seriously impact people and lives. Associate of Paul Craig Roberts just warned the U.S. economic implosion is now accelerating. And from Dave Hodges of the Common Sense Show, UN activity in California. That's with Paul Martin, who also, by the way, runs this website I'm looking at, revolutionradio.org. From Liberty Blitzkrieg, the real Barack Obama is finally exposed to everyone. Now that's something you really don't want to see. Operation Megadeth. Is this a live Jade Helm event? That's with Dave Hodges of the Common Sense Show. Breaking, North Korea fires another ballistic missile despite warnings from China and Trump. Trump preparing show of force after North Korea's latest missile test, officials claim. That's on the Express. Will Trump release the missing JFK files? That's on Zero Hedge. I don't know which files they're talking about right offhand, but my guess is he's not going to do anything like that. And more about Obama. Obama takes a shot at Trump's tweeting as he has paid $400,000 again for another major speaking gig. Who are these idiots paying him that kind of money? I mean, I could see where you might pay him that kind of money to make him stay away, but not to have him come there and speak. Obama was asked how he coped with frustrating moments as president and responded, quote, by not having a Twitter account, which of course is a total lie because he was at POTUS. We all know that. Anybody that was following at POTUS was Barack Obama. But it was a Trump put down, obviously. Pacific's top Navy officer says America must assume Kim Jong-un will nuke America. That's on the Daily Mail. From SHTFplan.com, Putin warns the situation in North Korea has seriously deteriorated. Seattle gives city workers time off to attend anti-Trump protests. City Council passes resolution requiring supervisors to grant leave to, quote, resist Trump. House oversight testimony, America has spoken. We want the wall built right away. That's on Breitbart. How President Trump can end Obamacare with the stroke of a pen. He just needs to end the insurance company subsidies. That's from Jerome Corsi. 6 ways the globalist establishment has achieved worldwide supremacy. How the current elite manages to dominate us and maintain its position. Are you on a treadmill of materialism that goes nowhere? Most people are. The root cause of our problems with government is tight centralization. That's from Return of Kings. Being politically correct more important than stopping crime. President Trump delivers keynote speech at NRA convention. And I bet he did not get paid $400,000 to do so. The hijab is a tool of Islamic oppression. Feminists further align with radical Islam. Again, there's no such thing as radical Islam, it's just Islam. It's Islam done the way it was intended by Muhammad. Apple's self-crashing car seen on the road for the first time. And if you see it, I would get out of the way. Oxford loses oppression Olympics. School apologizes after PC absurdity reaches new levels. Le Pen campaign bans globalist propaganda media from press pool. Merkel threatens UK over Brexit. EU vindictive against anyone who supported Brexit. That's from Kit Daniels on InfoWars. Google's Schmidt, quote, we're not arguing for censorship, we're arguing just take it off the page. It appears all they've done is elevate the New York Times and the Washington Post to God mode status. That's on information liberation. FCC chairman says we need an open and free internet for the 21st century. That's on Breitbart. When people work together, they're literally on the same wavelength, brainwaves show. The neural synchrony was most pronounced when students reported they liked their teacher. Advanced talks underway for new conservative network amid fears Fox News moving too far to the left. And as I mentioned earlier, Alex Jones custody press conference live. InfoWars founder addresses custody case outside Austin courthouse. Again, my question is, why now? Out of all the years that have gone by leading up to now, why are we just now dealing with all this on top of everything that's going on with World War III looming and with Trump doing flip-flops left and right? Why now do we have to hear about this custody battle? And Alex Jones blasts mainstream media fake news on child custody verdict live. Alex and his lawyers discuss his recent custody case. Breaking, North Korea ballistic missile explodes in failed test. So they've got another exploding missile yet again. From the InfoWars Nightly News, globalists say Trump is more dangerous than Hitler. This is a bit of a ridiculous headline. With no compelling reason, climate engineers will block the sun in 2018. They've had plenty of compelling reasons, and they've been doing it for years and years. This is on chemtrailsplanet.net. Thousands damaged by shingles vaccine are trying to sue Merck. Well, good luck with that. They're not going to get through vaccine court, most likely. The vaccine manufacturers are protected. They are more protected than people who get vaccines. That's on naturalnews.com. Dems adopt new tactic for gun confiscation. Robert Spencer states, first, the left falsely characterizes all perspectives that dissent from its own is, quote, hate. And then misdemeanor can result in losing Second Amendment right in 6 states. That's on WND.com. Bulgarian weapons sent to terrorists in Syria through Saudi Arabia. This is on 21stcenturywire.com. Magnitude 3.7 and 3.1 earthquakes hit right below Mauna Loa volcano, Earth's largest volcano. That's on strangesounds.org. From timesofisrael.com, suspicious Iranian flights spotted in Syria ahead of missile strike. Experts say cargo planes possibly carrying arms or fighters from Iran landed at Damascus airport just before reported Israeli attack nearby. Obama's hidden Iran deal giveaway. By dropping charges against major arms targets, the administration infuriated Justice Department officials and undermined its own counter-proliferation task forces. In an undisclosed location in Peru, L.A. Marzulli coincidentally discovered a secret intact mummy with an elongated skull. I'm going to be in Peru in June with L.A. Marzulli, Steve Quayle, Tim Alberino, and others, and I'm sure there will be some discussion on this very finding. If you know anything about elongated skulls, it goes back to not aliens, but in fact it goes back to the Watchers, the fallen angels, and all of their dabbling with humanity, with changing DNA and corrupting humanity in general. And for the sickest headline of the day, human trafficker confesses on camera to murdering between 400 and 500 little girls. That's on northwestlibertynews.com. Remember, North Korea had commando units on U.S. soil trained to attack nuclear power stations and terrorize U.S. cities should war break out, according to declassified report. Why war with North Korea would lead to opening of Pandora's box and hell unleashed. That's from All News Pipeline. And as I mentioned earlier, very strong, dangerous magnitude 6.8 earthquake hits off Mindanao coast in the Philippines. Will fascism come to America through its colleges and universities? Steve says, already has. Author just needs to add to the term techno-fascist, Mama, don't take my iPhone away, or how can I continue to play? Yes, that's so true. I mean, the college campuses and universities are fascist central. I mean, that's where they're breeding these people. And from technocracy.news, consumer surveys confirm that cashless society is gaining ground. Yes, that's because people love their convenience, their convenient ways of paying for things that don't involve cash. The Internet of Things, or IoT, is the glue holding smart cities together. I talked about the Internet of Things a few days ago. Mexico to use barrage of environmental lawsuits to stop border wall construction. And crazy talk, geoengineering goes mainstream at TED conference and stirs controversy. That's because when they talk about this stuff, they talk about these idiotic things like the balloons floating and floating mirrors in space and all that kind of stuff. Cooling the earth by blocking sunlight would drastically reduce food production, increase migration, regional conflicts, and wars. Geoengineers have apparently fallen into the anti-human cult that has no regard for human life. They claim that they are saving the world, but in fact they will destroy it. And in fact, they are destroying it. It's going on now, folks. Go to geoengineeringwatch.org for more information. Okay, and that's it for today's Diamond Report. Thanks for listening and watching. If you would, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page if you have a chance. If you don't care, well, that's fine too. And I will see you tomorrow.